What was the name of the show again?
Teresa.
Teresa. Okay. Just for the sake of the video. Teresa. All right. So in that case, there is she weak or is she strong? Pretty strong. It's working out for her, right? And sometimes you find yourself in position. You're born into the situations that you're born into. In that case, there she's born into a situation where her parents are poor. She's poor. So how does? And I'm guessing it's more of a situation where overcoming those challenges by like getting an opportunity to go to school, get an education, then even then, a lot of times you're going to find that the opportunities that you can get are going to be based off of the people who you know. It's not so much what you know in life a lot of times, it's who you know. And one of the reasons that you'll pay a lot of money to go to certain schools, it's not just because of the education that you get. If you go to Harvard, Harvard is like, what, $42,000 a year for tuition, $35,000, $42,000, something like that. So think about that. So 4 years of Harvard, probably closer to 5 for most people, you're looking at $160,000 to $200,000 a year. I'm sorry, $160,000 to $200,000 in payments, student loans if you have to. And when you get out, why did you pay so much to go to Harvard? Is it because the education that you get at Harvard is worth $200,000? You could go to the UC schools, UCLA, UC Berkeley, for what, $13,000? So essentially, almost same price for 1 year at UCLA for, I'm sorry, 1 year at Harvard for 4 years at UCLA, roughly. Is it really 4 times of a better education? No. No. But what you're getting is a name on your diploma and a network, because what do people who go to Harvard go on to do? Open businesses, run businesses, become Supreme Court justices, go into politics. And there's a network now where if you go to somebody and you're like, hey Harvard, you help each other out. There's a culture of that. And so if you're looking at really climbing to like top positions, you can get quite a leg up depending on where you go to school. And I was just talking to a class about this yesterday, where going to school is great, of course, if it's useful for you, but where you go is going to matter depending on what your aspirations are in life. If you want to, if someday you hope to run, I don't know, you want to run Tesla someday after Elon Musk steps down. Understand what I mean when I say this. Don't go to state. Do not go to San Diego State. It's fine. It's good to get into. It's a fine place to go. But you're not going to find yourself running Tesla someday if you go there. So where should you go? You need to aim way higher than that, man. You need to aim. You need to be looking at even like the UCSD because of the sciences. The UCs are going to matter. Stanford, Harvard. You have to aim at some of those places if you want to run Tesla someday. If you want to start your own company, anywhere is going to be fine. But a lot of your opportunities in life are going to be based off of who you know. And who you know is going to be based off of what you can get into. And if because of where you come from, you can't get into certain places, well, but you have those top aspirations, you do have that crossroads. You could say, well, the right way to go is to tell the truth. And where I end up is where I end up. At the very least, I told the truth and I demonstrated strong character. But strength comes in many forms. The ability of Teresa there is to recreate herself, to create a new, I want to just say persona, because for her, from what you're describing, it sounds like it went way deeper than just a persona. She was able to create a whole new life. That's difficult to do, and then the strength to stick by it. So I have to imagine along the way, and we'll obviously it's a show, but we'll imagine it as a real life scenario, because we do have Inventing Anna, which is similar, and I can't believe that would be the only person who's ever done this. So in that kind of a scenario there, you've got this person who's able to create this whole fictionalized thing around it and then stay consistent to it and then build other people into it. That's a strength of imagination for sure. It's also strength of fortitude, because at some point she had to have gotten called out, right? Hey, this isn't legit, and she has to have found a way to defend it or to protect that we'll call it her persona. And so in that case there, she demonstrates incredible strength, because the danger of lying is getting called out and then not being trusted. She put that in front of the whole world. as a reputational thing. It's incredible strength to be able to do that. Strength of will, for sure. Strength of imagination. Strength of even just, like I said, fortitude. Because you're going to have to defend that life. I mean, if you're living a real life, that's hard enough to defend. Now imagine a life that you've created. So, in that case there, is she having to survive? Like the question that Jared was asking is why can't she just get like a regular job and do that? Well, there's a difference between can't and won't. Is it that she couldn't? The skill set that she demonstrates to be able to put together a life like that, do you think that she couldn't have used that same skill set to have been successful someplace else? You know, I think we look at someone like I've always thought it'd be really cool, not really cool, but funny to me anyway, like a sitcom to make, where you've got like El Chapo, but because of circumstances, he doesn't end up running a cartel, he ends up running a Dunkin' Donuts. And then seeing how he would run a Dunkin' Donuts. And then you could do like an inverse where you take Bill Gates, and for whatever circumstances, he doesn't end up running Microsoft, he ends up running a cartel. And then seeing how those businesses play out. My guess is that both sides would adapt pretty well to the scenarios, the situations in which they were in. And although I know I'm making a stretch here when I'm suggesting there's a difference between Microsoft and a cartel. I know I'm making a stretch when I said that there's a difference there. There's a lot of similarities. But you would find that the skill set that it takes to run one, they're not the same, not overlapping, but they're very similar. If she has the ability to create that kind of a life, maybe in that case it's a matter of, not that she can't do it, that she just decides not to do it. She decides to put her skills into this one area. And so if she's able to do that, there's an incredible level of strength that's there. And again, she puts herself out there. She puts herself at the risk of being found out. Can you trust her? Yeah, because if you know what she's going to do. It's like if you have a pit bull, can you trust your pit bull? No, of course not. The damn thing was bred to kill you. But as long as you have that in the back of your mind, and then you look out for certain things, you know what to do and what not to do, and you know when things, and you know when the dog's gonna get aggressive, and you had to calm the dog down. Does that mean that the dog is gonna snap and kill you at some point in your life? No, but you know what to look for. And so it's not that you don't trust the dog, it's just that you trust the dog to do what the dog's going to do. When people ask me sometimes if people disappoint me, very rarely do people disappoint me. Does that mean that people always come through, do what they say they're going to do? No, of course not. But I also know that people are the way that they are. I know that when I wake up in the morning, I think about it. And it sounds bad, but it's true. I wake up in the morning and as I'm driving over here, I think, today I have students who are going to be, and I run through the whole gamut, students who will be appreciative, some students who are going to be unappreciative, some students, especially at this time, students who are going to be checked out, students who are going to be thinking about other things. And yet, I come anyway. I don't come because I expect everyone to be there, but because I know how people are going to be, because I look at a class and then I look at the rest of the world and I go, oh, it's a perfect microcosm. It's exactly what the world looks like. Surprise, surprise. I don't know why people get disappointed by that. In other words, a disappointment suggests that you expected otherwise. I don't think that when I'm talking to you, any more than like 3 or 4 of you at the most are ever listening to me at any time. If I find out that there's like 5 or 6, I'd be like, really? I mean, would I be disappointed if there were only 2? No, I'm not saying I expect there to be more than 2. I'm just saying I don't think there are probably more than 3 or 4. And so if you approach it from that perspective, you can't ever be anything except for pleasantly surprised, but you're never disappointed because you didn't expect more than that. And it's important. It's not walking around the world like, I don't know, I just don't expect anything out of people. No, it's walking around the world saying, I don't expect anything out of people. I expect a great deal out of myself. What I expect out of myself is just phenomenal. A friend of mine messaged me earlier this morning, called me at 5:30 in the morning. Mustard, his name is Mustard. We call him Mustard. So that's his name. Anyway, Mustard calls me this morning. It frightens me. Mustard has a baby now. Someone named Mustard has a baby. Anyway, Mustard calls me, and in short, he just says that his shoulder's a little bit sore from yesterday, and he was asking what is it he should do for it. And I said, ice and ibuprofen. It's the cocktail of godlike men. And so he says, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe if I go tonight to the gym, I might just take it easy. I said, bro, if your shoulder's sore, no harm in resting it, man. Just rest it. You got time and you need your body. He's like, all right, bro, I appreciate that. What was he hoping I would say? Exactly that. Why? He didn't want to go. That's it. And that's the advice I'll give you. If you come to me and you're like, Scott, I wanted to start running, but I stubbed my toe yesterday. And so I'm thinking, I don't know if I should start today. I'd say, dude, start when you're 100%, man. That way you go in with a fresh mind, fresh body, gives you the best chance of success. And you're like, all right, thank you. Why? Because you're looking for a reason not to go, but that's really my advice to you. If I get shot, I'll say, damn it, I need to get this checked after the gym. I'll go no matter what. It's not the advice I follow, but it's the advice I'll give you, because if you wanted to go, if you were dead set on going, there would be no question about it. What you're looking for is to know that it's okay not to, and it is okay not to go. You don't disappoint me. I know exactly. I don't expect anything more than that. And I'm not saying that my expectations are zero of you. I'm just saying I don't expect more than that from people. If you get more than that from people, you can't help but constantly be impressed and amazed and appreciative of people. Every day you're going to find yourself that. You don't expect to be let over in traffic. And then when someone lets you over, dope. Dope. Can you trust people? Yeah, as long as you know what to expect out of them. If you don't expect too much out of them, yeah, of course. Can you trust Teresa? Yeah. You know what she's after. You know she's ambitious. You know she's going to be self-serving. So what do? You find a way that you can benefit each other. You can trust her for that. That doesn't mean, but also trust that she's never going to self-sacrifice. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Like, how can you find yourself in a position where you can do that? And that takes strength, by the way. It takes strength to be able to trust that person who you know is going to be self-seeking and self-serving. So, yeah. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Yeah.